Hey, what's up guys? I'm Trent. I'm an account executive doing software sales, made about 37,000 cold calls. If you're new to the channel, we talk everything sales. How you like it or not, everyone is in sales. And the most important sales knowledge I can impart to you is to make the ask. So if you have a pulse and you're watching right now, make sure to like this video and subscribe below. In today's video, we're gonna be talking about jobs, how to get a job, how to find a job, and a couple interviewing tips I have. My company has asked me to run interviews over the last couple of weeks, so I've been talking to prospective new hires, and the one thing I've seen, guys, is that everybody is competitive in today's environment with endless information, with everyone having college degrees. Everyone is a great candidate, so how do you separate from the pack and find yourself that dream sales job? That's what we're gonna break down here today. I've had multiple people reach out to me recently asking, how do you get a job in software sales? How do you interview? How do you find a job, et cetera, et cetera. I know a lot of people, especially in college, are interviewing right now, looking for jobs, hoping to lock down those jobs so you can enjoy the rest of your senior year. There's also a lot of people who are unemployed, as we've talked about in a former video, and many people who are potentially looking for job changes. So it's important to note, how do you find your dream company to do a sales role? How do you know if it's good, and how do you prepare for the interview? So I'm gonna share some of my thoughts around those areas right now. A couple immediate thoughts here, guys. One thing to note is that recruiters are compensated based on hiring people in positions. So if a recruiter reaches out to you, or you're working with a recruiter, make sure to understand that it's in their best interest to see you succeed. Don't feel like they're ever working against you, because I've heard that before. Secondly, how do you find a company? Think about the companies you perceive to be really cool. Think about Elon Musk, Tesla. Go to Google. I'm on Google right now. You probably can't see my screen. Type in Tesla competitors. Figure out what companies you think are really cool and do a little bit of research on them. Figure out who their competitors are, who their suppliers are, who their customers are, and that can start to give you an idea of where to go. But really where I think about it is, I'm in software sales, and I was messaging a guy on LinkedIn today, and he said, how about NetSuite? What do you think about NetSuite? I said, yeah, NetSuite's a great company, and I ended up at Qualtrics, who's a great company, part of SAP, interviewed at a couple other tech companies as well, but I didn't do a ton of research outside of my immediate stratosphere. The companies that recruited to my college, I thought they were all the biggest and the brightest and the best, but little did I know there were many other fantastic companies out there that I had no idea about. So what I'd recommend is just going to Google and type in top valued software companies or leading fintech firms, different things like that, and just get a list and see who is funded, companies that are growing the fastest in the tech space. Figure out what companies are really great, start applying, reach out to people on LinkedIn, get connections, network a little bit. Next thing you'll know, you'll have interviews. So how do you crush the interview? As we've stated, guys, the job market is incredibly competitive. So how do you separate from the pack and differentiate yourself? I have 3 tips that I'm gonna share with you right now. Tip number 1, it sounds really simple, but a lot of people overlook it, and I'm gonna tell a story about how I completely lost out on a job due to it. And number 1 is be yourself. Don't try and be someone you're not, because the interviewer is gonna see right through you, and they're gonna say, okay, this person's intentions are not good, therefore not a good candidate. And also, if you're not yourself and you end up getting hired, it's probably gonna backfire later on. So coming out of college, I interviewed with Dell EMC. I perceived them to be a really great company. They flew me out to Boston. I had never done anything like this before. I expensed a couple $100, and I felt really special. So I wanted to crush the interview. Everyone kept saying, this is your golden ticket. So I thought, I wanna do really good. I went out there, guys. I'm in a room with all these other top people from really good schools. I'm sitting there saying, yeah, I'm Trent from Ohio University. Not to underplay that. But I felt like I was in this really competitive environment, and I never had an internship, guys. So I was sitting there, and I felt like a fish out of water. So I thought, let me be something I'm not. And I tried to talk the talk, but I didn't actually walk the walk, and they could see that I was not being myself. And I didn't end up getting the job due to not being myself. So that's number 1, is always be yourself and be true to yourself. The authenticity will play through, believe me. Thought number 2 is clearly articulate how your existing skill set is gonna positively drive business outcomes. So it's gonna take a little bit of research to do this, and it sounds complicated, but it's really not. If you're interviewing for an SDR position, understand what are some of the key metrics that position is gonna hold to be true, hold to be valuable. SDRs, generating pipeline, leading to revenue for the company. So if you have any past sales experience, say, based on my past sales experience, I feel really well equipped to make cold calls, which will hopefully lead to quality meetings that your reps will hopefully close, which will result in closed revenue. Figure out what's important to the company. If it's a public company or even some private companies, you can probably find some great information about what are key company objectives, what is senior leadership deeming to be important. Figure out what those are and talk about how your skill set uniquely aligns to do them and how you're gonna actually drive real value for the company. Number 3, guys, is surprisingly missed out on, and it's always make the ask. If you really, really want the job, make the ask for the job. This is something surprisingly I see a lot of people falling short on in the interviews I'm doing. If you really want the job, make the ask, because a lot of people probably aren't doing it. A lot of people are thinking, and this is how I was thinking coming out of college and interviewing, oh, I'm interviewing with Qualtrics, Dell EMC, Camping World, whoever else, Google, and you feel like if I don't get the offer, whatever, I got backup plans, but by not making the ask, you're not insinuating your full interest. And if you really want it, tell them you really want it. Say, hey, look, I've been researching your company. I think my skill set aligns with what the position demands, and I really want the job. What have you seen today, and what is it going to take for me to go to the next step? I want this job more than anybody else. Tell your recruiter, tell your interviewer that, and they'll feel that. If you truly feel it and they see it in your eyes and feel the passion, they're going to have a better perception of you, because I would rather hire someone that really wants the job versus someone that doesn't really care, that may be a little bit more talented. That's just my opinion. You'll see a lot of different opinions across the board, but make sure to always make the ask and express your interest. And by making the ask, make sure to like this video and subscribe below. Final thought here, guys, I want to keep this video shorter. Understand that interviews and talking with other people, it's ultimately conversational. Even if you're talking with the CEO, don't think just because this person's 50 or 60 or an executive that they still don't like humor and that they don't like to talk about themselves. They like humor and they like to talk about themselves. So whenever you can, ask the person about themselves, their own unique insights, what they think about different things, and try and make them laugh and really connect with them on a human level. Because ultimately at the end of the day, everyone just wants to have conversations. Everyone wants to feel good. Everyone wants to feel valued. Everyone wants to feel loved. And no matter what people are getting paid or what status they have, that's ultimately all that matters at the end of the day. We're just doing the job thing so everyone can survive from your actual needs standpoint, but psychological needs, really important too. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to share this video with anyone that may be interviewing or in a position to look at new jobs, or even in college right now. I think it could be helpful. I have sisters, so I make sure to share this content with them. They're in college, because I want to prepare them for the real world and what you're actually going to see. And I'm talking based on my own experiences here. As always, I really appreciate you guys watching, and go get better this week, guys. Go secure those jobs. Let me know how I can help in the comments below.